Bigfoot Club for life. Too sweet! Bigfoot Club for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigfoot Club. Robert Jesse Dominguez, Ash Tucker, Steven Robert Dominguez. Believe in us. Believe in Bigfoot Club. Because we are too sweet.
Hi, this is Tim Clay. You may remember me from previous episodes titled Tim Clay, and you are listening to the Bigfoot Club podcast.
Hey, everybody. Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club, Season 2, Episode 31. If you're listening to us on all the platforms, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Alexa, YouTube, and I think we're on Line Notes now too. So if you're listening to us on any of these platforms, please give us a subscription. Please give us a like. Please give us a comment and follow us on these platforms, and we would greatly appreciate it. We're also on Facebook. So if you type in Bigfoot Club and the number 1, that's our page. Please follow us and like us. We're also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Bigfoot Club 1, the number 1, and follow us on that. We would greatly appreciate it. I also wanted to say that if you have any strange stories, whether it's like Bigfoot or paranormal, if you just want to talk about your strange stories, we'll cover it all. Please give us an email and reach out to us at Bigfoot Club, the number 1. So it's Bigfoot Club, the number 1 at gmail.com. I also wanted to talk about Matt Knapp's got a good shows on YouTube, Bigfoot Crossroads and Cryptid Tales on YouTube. So check him out. Those are really good shows. I don't miss like a episode of that. So I also wanted to talk about Crazy Cat Paranormal Speaks. That's a podcast show done by John and Cecilia Clark. They're really good friends of mine, and they're on all the platforms as well. I would check them out because it's a really good show. They got really good guests on there, and I don't miss an episode of that one. So, with me today is Ash and Steven. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
How you guys doing, man?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Fantabulous. Steven, how are you?
I'm doing fantabulous as well.
How the boys?
Boys are doing good. They're little runts. They're not listening in some days, but
yeah,
we have our good days and we have our bad days.
No way.
Why would you lie about those sweet babies like that?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I still have to look through the sink, see what they threw down the sink. I still gotta check the P-trap on that one. I'm assuming it's going to be Play-Doh.
Listen, they told me it was nothing, and I believe them.
It's probably,
Is it still clogged?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's if I run it for like 4 seconds, it gets like the water builds up. You know, it doesn't drain fast. So
right.
I'm willing to bet there's Play-Doh in it.
What? What?
So
lies. Not on every surface of this house.
Yeah. So
Possibility.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I just wanted to mention really quick that we're no longer going to be doing wrestling on the podcast.
But
Yeah.
But you get something better in return.
Yeah. Earl the Pearl Kennedy was doing our portion of the podcast, of the wrestling podcast with me. And I think we've outgrown it, and we've kind of want to expand out. So what we end up doing is that I'm actually going to start another podcast. called Ringside View Podcast, and it's going to be on Anchor. And I haven't determined when we're going to post it. I have a teaser on Anchor right now, so I'm trying to get them on all the platforms right now. So I'm applying for iTunes and Pandora and iHeartRadio. So Earl and I are going to be doing our own podcast. So pretty excited about that. And then I'll post where that's going to be at and what day we're going to drop it and stuff like that. So pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that way we can have, unlimited Bigfoot and paranormal talk on this show.
We're going to go hard eventually. We're going to be a marathon running on some topics, man.
Yeah.
But my lazy ass got to come up with stuff, I haven't been doing what I said I was going to do. I mean, kind of, I'm getting ideas. I just haven't been doing the actual research. But
Well, I'm pretty excited about where we're going and who we have on the show now. So
absolutely,
because I got Steven, my first round draft pick, on, and I got you, Ash. So
which round draft pick was I?
Don't get mad at me.
Yeah,
you were the 4th round draft.
Well, pick. I didn't exactly live here, so I mean, it's understandable because. Yeah. You know how things went for like forever. I was like, I'm going to get here. Everything fell apart. Oh, I'm going to get there. I got things. Everything fell.
You remember I used to always text you all the time. So when you move into Dallas?
When I get the money. And, I basically had to just finally give up on everything.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like a negative way. It's just, sometimes when things aren't working, you just got to scrap it and start over. Yeah. And then it worked out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because I think I didn't tell you about the podcast whenever you were in Arkansas, did I? Or did I?
Yeah, but
it was.
I think it was after we kind of already figured out what was going to happen.
Because I can't remember, because I think I was keeping it close to my chest. I think Steven knew about it.
Yeah.
But I was like in the works to doing it, and I was trying to save, because like I was working this. I'm not making fun of anybody here, but I was just I was working a job that I wasn't making that much money, and so I had to like really budget like really hard, because Steven and Blair had just moved out.
Right, and that was about the time that you're like, hey, I got this open room. I'm like, well, yeah. I had to get.
He sounds just like that too.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Because it was when we had picked up Tyler when he went to go visit his dad.
Yeah.
And I had to get a job because it was right after I got done with dealing with all of my physical and mental health stuff and getting back on track. Yeah. And there's our pizza.
Okay, I'll let you get that, and we ordered pizza.
Man, you guys ordered pizza without me. Oh.
Pizza. So
yeah, Ricardo's gonna be so hurt.
He'll have some tomorrow. Whenever he's here.
Yeah, I think he wanted that the other night too.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's like, I want pizza. I was like, we don't have any pizza. We have spaghetti. He's like, oh.
Did he do the
Yeah, he did. Oh, but he did it different this time. He's like, oh, like. I was like, I'm sorry, baby, but we have spaghetti. Well, tonight we had macaroni, so he was kind of happy with that.
Macaroni's good. He loves macaroni.
Yeah. Yeah. He enjoyed it. So did Sebastian.
Yeah.
Where did y'all order from?
I forgot. Where did you order from? Pizza Hut.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna leave this part in the podcast. I'm gonna leave it on there. I'm gonna leave all this stuff in there.
Yeah.
I want it to be real.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
Real.
Authentic. Did you get stuffed crust?
No.
What did we get?
I got you a large and then me a medium because I earned enough points so I could get one for free.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I keep sticking with Pizza Hut, man. I get all them points and I get free food.
Simone.
Well, like you can get that with Domino's too.
Yeah.
You have to order, I think, 6 pizzas to get a free medium.
They don't have a Domino's in DeQueen, Arkansas. Now they don't have a Pizza Hut, so.
Dang.
Yeah.
I know this is not like paranormal news, and I know we're doing like pizza talk right now.
Whatever.
But Robert, did you hear about the terrible news that Taco Bell's doing?
Oh, they're taking away a lot of their menu items.
The Mexican pizza?
Yeah.
The Mexican pizza, the shredded chicken burritos.
I'm banning them.
Because they want to make their customers order fast and be efficient on
so
the
they're
orders.
Like, it says Taco Bell, not a motherfucking thing else, and that's what you're getting. It's either taco or Bell's, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
You either get the taco or you get the Bell out of here.
well. That's awesome.
So,
I'm mad at
yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh my God.
Good job, Steven.
They're probably like everybody else. They're hurting, so they have to cut down and back on production and stuff. So it probably
We're spending too much money on cheese.
Yeah.
As someone that has worked for places like that, it is an issue.
Yeah.
And they also said the reason why they're cutting down the Mexican, or they're getting rid of the Mexican pizza, is because they use and this is a fact, 7.1 million cardboard from Mexican pizza.
Wow, that's a lot.
Like when packaging.
So see, like, they're probably just cutting budget corners. Honestly, wait until wait a couple of years, it'll be back.
That sucks ass.
But,
Anyway,
and that ends Steven's useless information.
Yeah, that's your what's it called? What were we doing?
A topic for the show.
It was current
The
events.
the interesting fact or fun fact or something like that. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
You mean like?
There you go.
Taco Bell sucks.
No, it doesn't. It just
Their selection sucks.
a little more than it normally does.
Oh man, that's awesome. You guys are awesome, man.
As long as they still have quesadillas, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Actually, they're getting rid of that too.
Dang.
We fighting. I'm just gonna have to. What the hell? I'm just gonna have to go to Subway.
Taco Bueno.
Subway has the same Chipotle sauce.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh.
You get a steak and cheese on flatbread, and with that Chipotle sauce, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, flatbread, tortilla, whatever.
Yeah.
Same
Well.
thing.
Okay, we're gonna have to end the subject because I'm getting hungry. I don't have pizza. So,
Okay. What I kind of wanted to talk about was, and Ash, you were actually was the one that brought this up, and this was like I don't know, like 5 or 6 episodes ago, and you had this good idea about talking about this, and I've always loved it. I always loved this one particular episode of Coast to Coast, and you brought it. Hey, we should talk about that, and I said, hey, that's
because it's a really good one, and it's from back when I was first learning everything. Art Bell was the be all end all.
Right.
That's where that was the good stuff, man.
This was because I recall when this one came out. This was we're talking about Art Bell Coast to Coast episode, and this was on the radio.
Yep.
This was on AM radio, and this was I recall this because I think I talked to Tim about this, and Tim said that Luke told this is back whenever I was with the TBRC, and Luke had told us to listen to this episode. This was coming up, and he wanted us to listen to it. And this was it was released on June the 5th, 2001.
Yeah, I don't remember if I listened to it after meeting you guys or before, because I was into Art Bell then too, but I do remember him talking to it about a lot. It's like, you want to listen to a good story. That's a good story. Yeah, this was on a Tuesday. And I remember I stayed up. I can't remember exactly what time. I think it was like really late, like around 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And it aired. And I think this one is like maybe an hour and a half, I think. And I stayed up and listened to it all, and I was real groggy for work the very next day. Worth it.
I know
to hear that live, man.
Yeah,
worth it.
It was. Steven, do you recall this at all? Or is this the first time you actually heard of this story?
Honestly, it's the first time I ever heard the story, but it was very, very interesting.
It just makes me think of, like, in my perspective, it's like that's like listening to
to
War of the Worlds when Orwell did it.
Yeah, and Art Art has a really unique, distinct voice.
He does. He does.
So
Art Bell.
Yeah, this was
a very, very distinctive cadence.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I think, and I couldn't find the other episodes. Supposedly, like before this one aired, 3 years before this, Art talked to this guy, like 3 years before, and I think that they did it in a short. I could be wrong. Hopefully, someone can listen to this and actually send me the link or something, or send us the link. But I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. This is the only one I could find. But
it's got to exist somewhere.
So. But this one episode on Art Bell it was on June 5th, 2001, and Luke told us to listen to it, so I stayed up, I listened to it. I was fascinated by it. But Art Bell also got Robert W. Morgan on here to help him. I guess he was like a co-host for him, because normally he doesn't have a co-host.
Yeah, well, and I think it was kind of like he was kind of analyzing to like whether or not they thought his story was bullshit or not.
Yeah. And like Robert W. Morgan, I read some stuff about him. I remember seeing him post stuff, and we were supposed to have him on the first annual Bigfoot conference, but he had conflicting schedules or something, or I don't know. I think Craig couldn't pay for something. I don't know, for his flight. I forgot the reason why. But he didn't make it to the first. But I wanted to meet him, and from what I recall, I think Chad Scott was talking a lot about him, like in the past. But he was on this show as well, and so they introduced Bugs. They call him Bugs, and he said he was a farmer, and he said the area was cotton country. I don't know if it meant that he was a cotton farmer, but he said that that he was a farmer in this area, and so the area that he was talking about was like. He said he was in the Texas Panhandle.
Near the Red River.
Yeah, near the Red River off Elm Creek. Mm-hmm. And I looked up Elm Creek everywhere, and there's like a ton of Elm Creeks all over the place. I go, good Lord.
It's like Bear Creek or anything like that,
or like Main Street or something, It's like, but I looked up this whole area, and I was trying to find it, and it was like just really hard to find this area. So
I think that was.
I think I found it. I don't want to. Yeah, I think I found it because on the episode he did mention the Panhandle, and there is North Elm Creek on the Panhandle, and it's like literally like maybe a couple miles away from Oklahoma onto the right.
That's.
And
I've kind of had a general idea where it was.
Yeah. And
so yeah, if you type in North Elm Creek Panhandle, it'll pull up.
You should post it on the Bigfoot Club site. That way people can look at it whenever whenever you get a chance. So
alrighty.
But Bugs he introduces himself, and then he has like two other buddies, and apparently they were Vietnam veterans. And so he says his one friend is called Bird Dog, the other one was Jim.
Bird Dog and Jim.
Jim.
That just sounds like like a buddy comedy or a cartoon. Or
it does. It almost seems like
the Adventures of Bird Dog and Jim.
And the guy's twang is like so.
I know it really reminded me of like. That's one reason why I like listening to local radio from where just how people talk. Like my sister.
Yeah, your sister's got a strong twang.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on who she's talking to, and like, because she has her like phone voice and her professional voice, and I just really, really hate it because I know it's fake. I'm like, that's not what you sound like.
Yeah, I've always said I like her twang a lot. I think
it was worse when she was a little kid. It's funny.
Yeah.
I hope we have some home movies that still exist out there that have.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
So in this part, man, I got to stop doing that. I swear, I do that all the time. All the time. I got to stop doing it. But anyway.
You notice even more now that you're editing and listening to your voice. That's why I don't like to listen to the episodes back. It's like, damn.
I don't know. You don't have a lot of. So far, if I listened to all the podcasts as I'm editing now, I edit yours less than I do mine.
Really?
I'll just say that.
Because instead of saying or smacking or whatever, I just say fuck. or another bad word. It's horrible. Like instead of going, I'll just be fucking
fuck this shit.
Fucking.
But
I learned it from Ricardo.
I'm not editing that part out.
Oh Lord.
So on this part, he's talking about, that he does a lot of hunting. He does a lot of hunting with these Vietnam veterans, and he was saying that he was like in cotton country, and during this time between January and February, he has a lot of free time. And so him and his buddies, they were hunting like not for sport.
They were bounty hunting is what it sounded like. And that's basically where you go out and kill whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why it ended up like it ended up.
Because he was saying Bobcat, I actually didn't know this until I actually heard this episode, but Bobcat pelt goes from between $300 and $700.
Yeah, there's still people that do fur trapping. You wouldn't think it.
Yeah, and he was saying coyote go for
Of course, this was like in the 70s, too, but it's probably more common back then. But
yeah, so coyote go for $40 to $50 a pelt. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that this was like a way of life for them, and they were...
Yeah, you can make, especially like, I know in like South Arkansas and Louisiana and stuff, they have like the nutria rats because they're an invasive species, and they just trade their tails. You get X amount per tail or whatever. Because invasive species like that,
right,
can be harmful to the ecosystem. So,
yeah, because they tear it up, right?
Yeah, So they'll pay big money to keep. Well, not just tear it up; it'll just like knock off the whole. It'll make it where like one. Usually they'll overpopulate because they don't have a predator, and then they'll mess up the food chain because they're eating too much, and so on and so forth. Right. So they'll hire these people, these varmint hunters or whatever. They'll put bounties on these different animals and go into this area, and so they'll make you can make a lot of money that way.
Did you just say
because that's what he called himself. He was a varmint hunter. But yeah, that's basically, I'm pretty sure that's what he referred to himself as, is a varmint hunter or something like that.
So he was kind of saying that, that they made I think the highest point, he made like $2,400 in one night. And that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So... And it was like, because it wasn't a sport, it was just something that they made extra money on, and so I could totally see that them doing this. So actually, this to me it seems like it was okay though, but this area that they were talking about he said it was all farmland. Yeah,
it's possible that they were hired by farmers to go in and get rid of invasive species because coyotes they eat. Or deer or whatever, eats crops or livestock.
And so, like, before he started telling the story, let me just backtrack a little bit. Before he started telling the story, Art Bell seemed like he was aggravated that he had this, because, like, this gentleman provides him a map of what we're going to end up talking about. Mm-hmm. And so, Art Bell seemed like really aggravated that he had a map. Mm-hmm. He says, "Why do I have this map?" And he says, "Oh, my days are numbered. Whenever I'm gone, you can...
I want you to have that."
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of odd.
Well, think about what that map could possibly lead to.
Yeah.
If, chances are whatever is there was nature has scattered it to the wind.
Yeah.
More or less, especially if it's on river bottoms and flooding and everything, it's gone. But what if it's not?
Stuff, yeah.
And what if you do decide to go out there, and what if you do find something? And if his story is true, he's given that person a literal map to something that could change life as we know it.
Yep.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It is. So he's actually explaining what they were doing. They were driving around at night. Mm-hmm. And they had like a big spotlight, a big halogen light.
They were probably looking for like raccoons or something like that.
Yeah. He said it was a 500 watt. And he said this thing would light up, like a quarter mile stuff. So, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And he was talking about that, they had done it so often that he could tell what was a cow, what was a deer, what was, a coyote and stuff like that.
The color of their eyes.
The color of the eyes, yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat. And like this story takes place in Texas in 1976. And so it's been some time. It's been some time since he's actually talked about it and gone over it. So like I said before, it was the Panhandle. Supposedly that's what he said, Elm Creek, and
Yeah.
But then he talks about him going over into this valley, and it was farmland. And he said they came on a set of eyes, and it was like it was kind of like squat down, and that he was I think I can't remember which guy it was, Bird Dog or Jim, was on the very top of his truck and said, he asked him, what do you got? He says, I don't know. Never seen it before. And eventually, I guess it stood up and started running on two legs.
I thought that they shot at it first.
Was it shot up first?
I think that they shot at it because they thought it was a coyote.
Okay.
Possibly because they got, they have red eye shines.
Yeah.
And I think they thought it was a coyote and they shot at the eye shines.
And
then it stood up.
He did say that this was the reddest eyes he's ever seen. So.
I mean, honestly, I agree the way I described what I've seen. Because the closest thing I've ever seen to this is eye shines that one eye. And I said, it looks like the reflectors off of the end of a driveway.
Right.
Like those, it looked exactly like that, but like up in the air.
So they like shot at it. It stood up and started running off, and then they shot at it again, right? And I think they like knocked it down. And then recall that at all, or?
Yeah, whenever like he said, like they thought it was a coyote, they shot at it, and then it stood up, and that's when they thought, they honestly thought it went from a coyote, and then he said, now we're thinking it's a bear, so they started shooting at it more. And he said that it was running on 2 feet. It wasn't running on on all fours. Right. And then they shot at it more. And then they were like, was that a bear? And so they followed it. And then, that's
because he was explaining there was a creek by, and they as it crossed the creek, they shot at it again. It went over a fence. That's what he said. And it went down again. And so that portion of the show, I think Robert W. Morgan's he steps in, and he looks his tone on there, and I don't think Bugs caught this.
No, I don't.
But he seemed like he was pretty pissed off about it.
I kind of felt that. Honestly, if you're really into it, how can you not?
Right.
Unless you're of that school, which I don't think the majority of people are. Like, because to me, I can understand the first one.
Right.
But then after that, and then to chase them down and to shoot the other one.
Yeah.
That's a little, but at the same time, they're out there trying to make a living. They are probably seeing dollar signs.
What I thought was kind of odd is that, he was talking about it being a farmland. And if this Bigfoot, is in the middle of farmland, and like, cause that area of the Panhandle is not, I'm sure there's woods there. It's not known to have a lot of Bigfoot sightings in the past. Right. So this was in 76. I don't know if they were like migrating from, Colorado this way, or from, Oklahoma, and then turn east and stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd. I said, man, what's Bigfoot doing way out there? But that's just my.
If there was enough, from what he described, it sounded like a decent woody area in the river bottoms, and they might be living off the farms too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when they're near people, they figure out how to work that to their advantage.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. It just kind of struck me a little bit, and then like Robert W. Morgan says, because you guys were all Vietnam vets, right? He goes, yes. And goes, you had night training. And he goes, yes. Like, almost like he's almost in a condescending type of, tone and stuff. And he says, so you guys cut down on something running on 2 legs, and you cut down on it again. He goes, okay. I'm just trying to get a picture. Okay, go ahead and continue. So I took it that he was pretty perturbed. And,
well, like how I felt about it. It's like the first time they did it, okay.
Yeah.
Another time they're scared, okay, but no, they decided to pursue it.
Right.
And then shot it again and killed another one. To me, that's intent. Yeah,
it was. And like he was explaining that he thought it was a bear, because he said it ran kind of hunched over. And to me, when he said that, this guy, I don't know him that well. I don't know what his background is. But that hit some validity with me about it running with hunched over, because I've seen some video in East Texas. I'm not going to say where, but I've seen video of a Bigfoot doing a hunched over walk, and it was like still taller than most people are hunched over.
Right.
And so him saying it was hunched over, it kind of hit home with me. It's okay. That sounds really good.
Well, also, and theoretically, this is just my idea. This, so it was a male and a female, and that wasn't like, weren't they smaller? Like the male was smaller than the female.
On this one?
Yeah.
He was 8 inches taller than the other ones, but they were like around 350.
But theoretically, it's a younger one, and they've been known to, or reported to allegedly, start out on all fours, just like us. So I mean, if it was a younger one, then maybe that's just the way it was more comfortable and moving quickly.
Yeah. So he was kind of saying that, he thought it was a bear, and then when they saw it running on two legs, he got kind of scared, thinking it's, oh man, I think we just shot a human. And so I guess it took off. They lost sight of it, and then they drove around for a couple more hours, I think. And then eventually they did find some footprints and then some blood and some trails of blood.
I think they followed the blood trail.
Yeah. They end up, and then he was saying that the footprint was like a human, but, pretty big. So, and then they followed it to a plum thicket. And then when he said that kind of hit home with me too.
Yeah.
The plum thicket. I said, okay. And then, they followed to a plum thicket, and they said they heard growling, like a growl.
Yeah.
So, the way he was kind of describing it is like, it was, I guess this growl was coming inside this plum thicket. It was surrounded. And it was like an open area, like that's how I viewed it.
Yeah.
And so they got, I think they like nominated Bugs to go in there because he had like a high caliber hand pistol. Was it a 44?
Yeah, 44.
I don't remember, but yeah.
So he crawls in there. He says he has to crawl in on his knees, and he crawls in there, and he says eventually he gets approached by another Bigfoot. And he says this one was kind of crouching a little bit toward him. And he said he shot, I can't remember how many times he shot at it. I think it was like 3 or 4 times.
Enough to count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so.
And it had to probably be several if it killed it.
Yeah, because he said that the other one that they had shot was a male, and it was already inside the plum thicket, dead already. And so he was laying in like a pool of blood. And he said he shot at the current Bigfoot when it was like a female. He describes it as a female, and he said it went back a couple times and then came forward, and he shot it like a couple more times, and then it killed it. And then I think Bird Dog and Jim were yelling at him. They couldn't see what he was doing, but they yelled at him and said, "Hey, are you okay?" They heard shots. He says, "Yeah, I got him. I got him." So they all crawled in and saw. And that they saw it was 2 Bigfoot. It was like it was like he said it was 8+, and she was probably like 7+. And he was talking about the weight around 350 or something like around there. But I thought that's kind of interesting story. I said, man, wow. And then they eventually, I think it was around 4 or 5, and whenever they were driving around, and then whenever they confronted this female Bigfoot, it was getting close to like, he said 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there. So whenever they pulled the bodies out, it was close to like 8. So what do you guys thoughts on that right now?
I think it's definitely interesting. I like to point out the fact that they what's his name? Robert Morgan did point out, did you smell anything?
Right.
Like, did you smell anything? And he said, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. And I think, okay, now I understand now, like, maybe they were just so off of so much adrenaline that they probably didn't even realize that the smell.
My theory with it being, because, I can see your face too. You see Robert's face. He's like, this is where I'm going to talk some shit now. Listen to this. But this is why I also kind of went with the idea that it was a younger male and maybe a mother.
Yeah.
Because the theory is that the ones that really really smell bad are the like adult males,
Right, the alpha males.
an older male. So it could have been a younger male, and so to them they just smelled like, because wild animals usually aren't the most pleasant smelling thing.
Yeah,
So they probably just had a
musty smell.
Yeah.
So this out of all the stuff that I've heard on this like multiple times, this is the one thing that bugged me. And I know, and I like your theory, I like it, but I still think that this smell should be like ingrained in him forever, forever.
Right. Well, I say that because I believe that I have had 2 occasions where something had happened, and neither time, of course, I wasn't right on top of it. I wasn't covered in their blood. Do I recall ever experiencing that? And I feel like there would have been in close proximity for what has been I've heard described, and it didn't happen. So, I mean, I feel like it is possible that you can have an encounter and not, take note of.
Yeah, but I mean, like they were dragging them out.
Right. I mean, because obviously we don't know because we haven't been that close to one.
Right.
To understand.
I mean, I've been in areas in Oklahoma and Texas where I'd pick up on that smell, and then it would go away, and then it would go away. But I've never seen a Bigfoot.
Right.
But I've smelled that. I think it's them. I'm not sure, or it just could be a smunk. A smunk.
A smunk?
A skunk.
A skunk?
What? Well, that's for next week's podcast. We'll explore that.
What's a smunk?
I bet there's something out there. I know there's a thing called a squonk.
But this is the one thing that kind of bugged me about that one interview is just its smell, and it's how he just just shot it off like,
Well, we don't know about how hygienic Bird Dog and Jim were either. Maybe they were nasty.
Yeah, it kind of canceled it out. Yeah,
yeah. We never know. They might have been some stinky motherfuckers themselves.
So
so they were Vietnam vets too. So they smelled all types of different kinds of smells, and I think it was just another thing that they to add to their I guess the memory of it. And plus they didn't know what they just killed too. So that's another thing. So
and also this is probably a really traumatic event. I don't know about you guys, but I've had moments in my life where it's just gone. Yeah, and sometimes it comes back, and other times, and it doesn't really even have anything to do with what happened. It's sometimes just mundane stuff later in that same kind of period of time are just gone. Yeah.
I think I have to, I mean, like at the very beginning, I was like, because I know you and I talked about this off show, and I voiced my opinion then, and I'm doing it now about, that kind of bugs me about the story, but everything else kind of hits on, like the lunging in the eyes and, it's just other stuff. It's just, I don't know. That's just me.
And, of course, with the growing theme of our show, the biggest reason why they thought they were humans was because they had human genitalia, human-like genitalia.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said that that they, I think, and I know this. I'm just going off what he said,
right?
Because he said on the show that they thought they had killed Down syndrome. He didn't use the word Down syndrome.
Yeah, he used some
the other
politically
word.
Correct.
Yeah.
Some some people that might have some deformities or something, some is what he thought were in the woods and that they had killed people.
And so he said that they were pretty worried, and the sun was coming up, so they digged a grave like really fast. And he says, "Man, whenever you're scared, you start digging really fast." And so he said they were Vietnam veterans, and they know how to cover their tracks. Mm-hmm. So I think Robert W. Morgan steps in right here, and he starts talking about, hey, if you didn't bury them low enough, it was by a creek, or I think he said that they buried them by a creek area, and that Robert W. Morgan was worried about them being washed away, but he says no, we buried them about 4 or 5 feet deep, vets, and we know how to cover our tracks, and then he goes on to say that then I think Robert Morgan kind of surprised me here. He says, "What kind of soil was it?" I don't think anybody would have thought about asking that. And he said, "Sandy loam, like really, really quick." And so that tells me, I said, "Man, he really must be a farmer because not everybody knows what kind of soil that's around or whatever you use or bury something in." And so, sandy loam. So
I wouldn't know that term, and I know a little bit about dirt.
Yeah,
but not that much.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting that he knew exactly what type of soil it was, and that so I think that he was kind of worried about it being like washed away and discovered like through erosion and like irrigation and stuff like that. So
I feel like it probably has anyway. Either they biodegraded, or that happened because with all the change in the weather patterns, it's a lot wetter in this area now. And if it hadn't by then, it's been so long, they're gone. I mean,
yeah,
there might be something here or there, but it would, that's just the way the woods are.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say that that they swore to secrecy and not to talk about it, but he's talking about it on the radio. But
well, he didn't use his real name.
Yeah,
and obviously probably didn't use their real names either.
So I think Robert W. Morgan, he's really, really interested in this subject. He wants to try to convince him into showing him where it's at. He wants to be involved, and he thinks he can take the heat for it. So I thought it was kind of. To me, I thought that was kind of odd that he wanted to. I said, "Yeah, I think I can take the heat for it." I said, "What is he, a lawyer or something?"
Well, I mean, it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
because at that point in time, it would probably be forever before they could even figure out if it would count as a murder. Because even if they discovered this thing, okay, here's a new species.
Yeah,
what determines personhood? And unfortunately, things like that have happened with humanity, but I feel like, it would be an interesting thing to try to figure it out, because if it ever does come around, who knows?
Some big in my mind, big changes would happen if they were to uncover these bodies. You would talk about logging. You talk about contracts. Jobs,
right?
Probably like congressmen, senators would probably all get involved, because then that's like a big like industry.
Well,
that they would get affected.
Here's another thing too. They would probably disappear. Honestly,
yeah.
Because I've heard more than one story where things like that could have happened, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
Because of everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Swept under the rug.
Like remember, what was the little bird in like Oregon or Washington? The spotted owl.
The spotted owl, yeah.
The big controversies about that.
Yeah.
Well, now let's put an 8-foot, probably human.
Yeah.
Humanoid creature living in this area. All the logging's getting shut down. All the farming, all this stuff's getting involved.
Because it kind of, I know I've talked about, I can't remember if I talked about this on this show or another show, but I recall whenever I first got into TBRC, we were doing an area in Area 2. We called it Area 2, which was Sulphur Springs. And I can say what it is now. It's called Mahoney Slabs. Mm-hmm. And that's the area we used to go to. And it was pretty open to the area. It was pretty open. It was right next to Jim Chapman Lake. And was it Jim Chapman Lake? Yeah. Anyway, we would go out there and I think we went out there like 3 or 4 times to go just put out cameras, research, walk around the area. And Luke was kind of showing us a lot of us like beginners the area. And so I think like a month into it, then we started getting game wardens and park rangers showing up. Like they just automatically knew when we were there.
Mm-hmm. We're bird watching, right?
Yeah, so they would just show up and start questioning us, like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And I said, "What the hell?" And I think eventually, after 6 months, I think that area got bought out,
right,
by the by the U.S. government. I mean, by the state of Texas. And so, if we were to
imagine that,
if we were to walk on that property with guns, man, we would have, you know, we'd have got arrested and stuff like that. So, I remember Gino Napoli used to always say, you know, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. He said all the time. And he's take his gun in there and like no matter what. So I think I had at the time I had a Mossberg pump shotgun, and I think once the state bought it, I just quit bringing it. So whatever, I'm not going to do that. So I mean I follow the law. So, but anyway, like we were saying, I just thought that, you know, they were to find those bodies, man, a lot of stuff would probably change. A lot of
if
stuff.
they were allowed to go public with it.
Yeah.
I don't like to buy into controversies, but we've seen that happen with endangered and threatened species. There's a really good movie with Willem Dafoe in it that's called, I think, The Hunter, and it's about the thylacine in Tasmanian tigers, and his job is he's hired by this company to go to try to find it, to get this DNA sample because they want to clone it or something like that. And it's kind of like a murder mystery because these loggers know about them, but if anything like that comes back, which of course who was the ones that killed them off to begin with,
right,
were the loggers, because they thought that they were like monsters. Yeah, they didn't understand them
because their mouth was huge,
and they would eat hearts and blah, 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 and all these myths. So they had a bounty hunt on them and hunted them into extinction.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this movie, you know, people that are trying to are trying to find information on this start going missing, accidents and stuff happening. It's, you know, of course it's Hollywood, but I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That was, that's just a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just, I always feared that whenever we were doing research, you know, that we were going to, you know, disappear or something like that. So
I know
it was one of those things that I always.
I mean, you don't want to think that that's possible, but
yeah, it could happen.
It's possible.
It could always happen.
I mean, we could.
But,
yeah.
Just I mean, with that to go, if they were to find those bones and all that stuff, it could be, once it goes public, it's probably a good thing, but it's also a dangerous thing because who knows how many times the government has tried to cover stuff up.
And another thing, I've had this conversation before. I don't think that I would ever, in my personal, it used to be the opposite, of course. Mm-hmm. You know, at the beginning, it's like, oh, I want proof. I want to show that, you know, that my passion, my thing, that I was right. But now it's like, I don't think that I would tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because I would be afraid of what would happen. Because, you know, people want to go out and trophy hunt and all this stuff and just whatever. It seems like the worst thing to possibly do.
I think whenever I first started with the TBRC, I wanted to prove these things existed. Mm-hmm. But after a while, I just kind of moved toward the school of just helping people who've seen this thing cope with it. Because, you know, as much as people don't talk about this at all on any kind of Bigfoot stuff, is that people who see this are not people who want to see it. And whenever they do see it, it changes their life and they get traumatized by it. And it's like, why did I see this? And so I try to help those people who've seen it and deal with it and ask me why they saw it. And I try to give them like information and
And you know, that I kind of feel the same way. And also a reason to keep like learning is to understand it so that you can also explain why this happened. Like, you know, when we had our very special and anonymous guest, I feel like breaking down why maybe this was happening helped, because before it was just like, what the hell, this thing in the woods that jumped at me and was screaming and all this stuff is a monster for no reason, no rhyme or reason. It just appeared out of nowhere for no reason and attacked me for no reason. And when you break it down more, well, it's probably protecting its food source, its family, you know, and that you probably weren't really in any danger.
Because I think I think I talked to him like a total of 6 times about that incident when we're talking about our anonymous friends from he went to go visit Longview. Mm-hmm. He talked about it being a monster every time I talked to him. That was always the same thing. He goes, this monster thing or this and I think, to be honest with you, I think we helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully if he's listening, we helped him out a lot. And if he ever wants to talk to us again, he can always talk to us. He can on the record, off the record. I don't care.
Right.
I just want to help.
Absolutely.
So I always just wanted to help people. And so that's where I kind of moved it. I moved to trying to prove this thing existed because I used to be in documentation. Let's document the moon phase. The barometer, all this stuff, and I kind of moved into the area where I just want to help people.
Right, and I mean that's fine, well and good. I mean, but I think it's kind of like with everything from the beginning. I just want to know the answers, and I want it. It's kind of whenever you find things out like that, then I feel like you have to use your knowledge to help other people, and that doesn't necessarily mean I need a TV show, I need a book deal.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. I wouldn't.
Or I need to give you an autograph picture of myself.
Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to go have headshots made. I was saying no the other day. I was like, no, I don't want my picture taken. But yeah.
Back to the where this area might be. I sent a link on the messenger. I don't know if you have your laptop or.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it.
But on the physical features of that, it says the Panhandle County of rolling broken terrain, drain into Red River Forks, sandy and loam soils.
You got to be kidding me! It said that.
Yep. And on the agriculture, the first thing it shows it's cotton.
Oh.
Steven. I swear.
Either you figured it out
it's
or
Collinsworth County.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly it has like a really good Vietnam vet, like for veterans, like all cities do, but it's like mostly for like Vietnam vets too. So
son of a bitch. We just found our documentary.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Steven, you're good.
Yeah.
Did I say you were good?
Remember the last time when you told us it was the anniversary of the bridge collapse?
Yeah.
This is one of those moments, man.
Yep.
This is the reason why you're our first round draft pick, man. This is the reason why.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Steven,
we can get a chance to take a look at it too.
Okay.
We need a sponsor.
Steven, I love you.
Yep, and it's right there by Elm Creek.
Tour.
Has to be that area.
Man,
Yeah.
we'd have to get so much equipment.
Yeah.
And gas money.
And a bunch of shovels.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people to dig for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire somebody. I wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm totally out of shape. Anyway.
We need to get one of those things that tells us where to dig so
Yeah.
we don't waste our time.
Hey, we're like 55 seconds in.
55 seconds. You know what?
Yeah.
I sent you this clip, but you know what happened, Steven?
I saw it.
The master podcaster himself stole Robert's bit.
Oh no!
I was watching the 5-hour podcast with Joe Rogan and Duck and Trestle because those are always the best ones. And Joe Rogan goes, we're 5 minutes and 45 seconds in, man. I was like, that son of a bitch stole your bit.
I saw that. I was laughing so hard at work, and somebody was asking me, why are you laughing for? I go, you wouldn't get it.
He was drunk off of his ass, too, because they were on that show for 5 hours, and they're just drinking whiskey the whole time.
He was saying, so how's the wine business?
So how's the wine business? Yeah.
Tell me about your bees.
Hey.
No, at that point, they're just like, man, Duncan, I fucking love you. I love you too, Joe. And It's like, you need to move to Texas with me. No.
Hey, look up that video with the two salamanders fighting.
Yeah.
Rogan's
Jamie,
like,
look at that
Jamie,
video.
look that up. And Duncan's like, Jamie, when you have a moment, would you please, do you mind looking that up? We love Duncan.
I just want to say, good job, Steven. Those,
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks.
We're going to go on a treasure hunt. We need to get more people.
Yeah.
Who else can we get involved? I know we can at least get Luke.
yeah.
It's only a supposedly 4 hour drive, judging by.
We show up at
what it
his
says
house
here.
at dawn with the RV, and it's like, get in, motherfucker. We're going, we're going treasure hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Lord.
I think Brad Freeman has expressed interest.
Yeah, a little bit.
Brad Freeman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, I just wanted to say also, I did Crazy Cat Paranormal Speaks. I think it was a couple weeks ago, and so I think I'm supposed to be the next episode for them coming out this week. So,
That's cool because they got a badass guest this week. So if they bring in more listeners, then they're gonna get you next week.
Crazy Cat Paranormal Speaks does an episode with John Bullard and Stormy Daniels.
Yep.
And I'm okay coming off that show to springboard off that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So yeah, I should be the next episode. If I don't, I'd be pissed. But anyway, and then I did
Cecilia, if you're listening.
I'm the next episode.
God damn it.
And then I did Matt's show, Bigfoot Crossroads last week too. So I think I should be the next one coming up too. So
God damn it.
it'll be Robert week next week.
Yeah.
So,
every week is Robert week here. So
this is true.
So if you join Robert week everywhere else, come here and it's every fucking week.
But I'm really proud. I did my mom's show last week, and it's doing really well. Right now, it's at 170 right now.
Dang.
And that's for 7 days. I mean, 5 or 6 days, and then Tyler's is at 190.
Yeah, because Tyler's a badass. I taught him everything he knows, and YouTube did, and it was me and YouTube.
Yeah,
I have to give YouTube a lot of credit.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows his stuff. Oh,
yeah, man.
I give him that.
He does. He's always been that way. He's super, super focused on stuff, and I guess I'm kind of that way too. Where I'll get something I like, I'm like, I need to know literally everything. When did the, assistant to the photography director, when is their birthday, and who's their mom? Maybe not that bad, but.
But yeah, it was actually a really good show with Matt. So it's probably I mean, I have fun on this show all the time, but I had fun on his show, and I was like, because like he's real serious on his podcast, and I'm not saying that he's not funny, but I'm just saying he's pretty serious, and like I think we're funny. I think, we're funny and serious.
This is just me. It's my coping mechanism. It's just by being hilarious.
You're funny,
man. It comes natural. What can I say?
Yeah. You should go on the road.
No.
Especially like
I don't have a car.
Like to West Texas.
To West Texas.
Panhandle.
To the Panhandle.
Sandy Loam.
With some shovels. Go looking for some varmints.
Yeah.
Out there in the thicket.
Some big bones. Some big bones, and we can get rich.
Get a pinky.
Exactly.
And smuggle it in with a movie star. Wait, that's a Yeti. I love that story. Did we ever talk about? I don't remember.
Which one?
Where they try to smuggle in the Yeti bone from the temple.
Oh, that was who was that? Was that Jimmy Stewart?
Yeah, his wife.
I think we mentioned it.
Smuggled it in her underwear.
Yeah,
back into the America. I love that story.
I think we did talk about that when we did the story on the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
I think we did talk about it, but I gotta go back and listen to it now. I don't
remember.
Yeah, we're like so far into it now.
I don't know. You think I know what I said? I don't listen to me.
Yeah, we're like 40 episodes in.
Yeah.
So
we need to hire an intern to make us a Bible of what we've talked about.
Yeah. I am excited about, I think next week we're going to talk about, I got a story that we're going to talk about, and I'm pretty excited about it. And it's a story about.
Ooh, is it the one that I know about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
I actually got my first story. And we're going to talk about it. It's going to be in Arkansas, and it's going to be in
all places.
I know.
What did I tell you, motherfucker? Every single one of you guys didn't want to listen to me.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yes. Can you name the mountains again? I'm gonna butcher it.
The Ouachita.
The Ouachita Mountains.
Ouchita. The Ouachitas.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually the proper native original way of saying it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of French people about.
So then also we got for next month is our anniversary.
Yeah.
So
dang,
October 5th is our anniversary of starting the podcast.
We got some stuff planned.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, I don't know, the guests that we've done, our shows, and
you'll just have to tune in and see.
Yeah. So we're going to,
because we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
But I'm pretty excited about it. So we're going to come up on our year, and things have changed in the group.
Yeah.
For the better. And
it happens. I was just talking earlier in my, let me drop a name right here. My Alex Johnson chat group, and on her, she's got Discord. Which one day when we're famous, maybe we'll have a Discord. But we were talking about bands and stuff, and I was like, sometimes things just don't work out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just because someone can be your best friend in life does not mean you work well together.
Yeah.
But, sometimes out of whatever fell apart comes good things. I mean, that's kind of circling back to what we were just talking about, Not everything that you try the first time is going to work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially like with Bigfoot Magazine, and I tried that, didn't work out, and here I'm back with Matt, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. You never know what sometimes things circle back around when it's supposed to, and sometimes it just
I just said Matt's name and he just messaged me right
now. See? Synchronicity. Yeah. I need to watch that again. I got somebody I want to get into that, and I can't wait to do it because it's going to happen, and I'm going to be so excited about it. It's like, listen, you don't understand. Here's all this other stuff that directly applies to my life that goes with this show too. And then he got a letter that went through my hometown.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, man.
That was fucking weird. That wasn't just kind of weird. That was like, hey, look at this. This is about you.
I wish I would have recorded your face whenever I told you that. You were like, what the fuck?
I wish that my face was recorded a lot of the time. Like, let me drop that name again. Like when Alex played my song for me.
Yeah.
Last week. I was like, oh my God.
Does she do live?
She does a Patreon live once a month.
Yeah.
Like that, where she'll take requests.
Man, I don't know. I want to do live, but I don't know if I'm ready to do it.
I think we don't have a large enough fan, honestly.
Yeah.
I think we need more people. I think eventually, like, maybe we can do a Patreon too, but I think we need more followers. I mean, we're getting there. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But for the time being, most of the people we're going to get feedback from is like people we already know, But that's fine too. I'm not knocking you guys either, but we have more listeners than we do followers. I guess I'll put it that way. It's getting there.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. Slowly but surely, it's getting there. I mean, it's gotta keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it takes time, and then there'll be that one episode or that one guest that's just gonna pop off, and and it might stay there. It might. Who knows? Not to jinx us, but you know how the internet works.
Unless you want to go find those bodies and then get famous
and
off
then
of that.
we're gonna disappear behind a couple of black bags, and you'll never see us again. And then
Oh,
we get
man.
yeah. Not to put a downer.
They just come out of nowhere.
Just went I went full V for Vendetta.
I did want to say that I'm actually going to be on the Paranormal United Network next Thursday. I'm going to be on
Robert Week.
Next Thursday, and I totally forgot about it, and I'm sorry.
I got so much going on, I forgot about it.
I'm serious. It's going to be with Adriana Hart, Desert Heart PC Talk, and it's on the Paranormal United Network. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I think it's going to be on. Well, hold on, let me see here. It's going to be 7 Eastern, so it'll be 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Central. So I got to get home from work quick.
Yeah,
for that
shit. one. You better peace out about 3.
I know. See ya. So
oh well, they'll let you do whatever they just throw money and compliments at you.
Yeah, they do. They love me. What the heck happened?
That's my phone. It fell in my pocket.
So yeah, I'm gonna be on her show. I'm pretty excited about that, and I don't know her that well, but she seems really, really nice because I did have some cases in Amarillo, and I think I'm trying to think, and I can't think of the other town over by there. I think it was Amarillo, and then
Orange. Wait, no, that's on the other side.
Yeah,
there is an Orange, Texas. I forgot.
It's Amarillo. It's right on the border. I can't think of it, but I had like 2 cases, and I reached out to her, and I think her and some other people drove out to Amarillo to go help the people. So
that's
she's
cool.
She's very helpful, and she took any cases I gave her that was close to her. She just took them, and she seemed like a really good lady. So
right on.
I got nothing but good things to say about her for now. So for now, dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Who says that?
Until she fucks up, man. You better watch out. No, I don't know her.
No, she's a good lady.
Yeah,
so,
I imagine so.
But anyway, I think it's gonna call it a show, guys.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys, for you coming on and talking about this good subject, which I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And Ash, thank you for bringing it on to the topics.
I know topics.
Yeah, you do. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you tomorrow. And good night.
Alrighty.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I must bid you adieu, and so, goodbye, and good night, bang!